Hi there, this is Kathy Crow from the Crow Cottage, and I want to remind everybody right now before I forget that Stampin' Up! Is doing their special sale this month. It's sort of like a sale. For every $50 you spend, they will send you in August a $5 coupon that you can use on any product of theirs. So this is a good time to, hi there, Jewel. Good to see you. This is a good time to stock up on a few things. Although I do have to say the holiday catalog's going to come out in 2 months. So I kind of save a little bit of my cash for that holiday catalog because I know they are going to have something I can't live without. So anyhow, today I went out on a bike ride. It's beautiful. It's warm, so I didn't feel chilly at all, which was nice. It was a little too warm, but it wasn't bad. And I got out early enough that it was pretty nice. And anyway, it's going to be hot. This week it's going to start to heat up, and this is the time of the year for that to happen. It's July, so when it can hold off until July, I'm very happy about that. And I think everybody's going to have a great 4th of July this week. We will go to our little town, Benton City, very close to us. They do a really cool, out on their ballpark. It's just the town. It's a very small group that shows up, but they have good afternoon. They have really good fireworks. It's the perfect length of time. It's not too long. We don't start getting bored and think, oh man, we're done. It's a short drive for us, and then you can just park really close and just a quick little walk, and it's sweet. So anyway, that's where we're going to go for the 4th of July, because I don't think any of our kids are going to join us. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're doing other things that I know of. I don't know. Actually, I haven't even talked to them, so I'm sure they'll be fine. And anyway, today I'm going to do this stamp set called Rare Blessings. This is a beautiful orchid flower. I love that. I don't grow any orchids. Some of you probably grow orchids, and that's a specialty. I've never gotten into that world. Orchids and, what are the violets? The little fancy violets people keep on their windowsill all winter long, and they flower beautifully, and then you cannot water their leaves. Those violets, I don't grow those either. That's too tough for me. Oh no, Jewel, that's terrible. Oh no, I hope it's not too miserably hot where you are, because you definitely need air conditioning. For me, our house stays actually really cool until it gets over 85. Once it gets over 85, I've got to have the air conditioning on. So I'm going to start. This is like from scratch to finish. I'm going to put my glasses on, and we're going to get started, and we will see how much I can accomplish in this amount of time, because let me make sure my space is right. I've noticed that I'm not always very good about getting my workspace in exactly with where the camera is, and actually that's kind of helpful if you can see the space that I'm working on. So we'll move my lights over here, and then maybe in moving my light over, that'll help keep me in my parameter that I actually have to work in. Because what's happening is, I think as I'm getting going, I have all this other space that you don't see on my desk, and I think I can use it all, and the reality is that you can't see it. So we'll try to keep my paper in the space that I'm supposed to be working in, and then maybe it'll actually keep me working there. That's the hope. Okay, you know what? I completely forgot to get my Facebook going up on my computer, which is probably fine. I'm going to keep going as I try to do that, because the last several weeks as I've been doing this, I can't see comments anyway. So it's like, why even bother putting it on the computer if you can't see any comments? Then that's not going to really make much difference to anyone. you know, because the whole point, when the camera's pointing down, I can't see comments on the camera anymore. And so the idea is, if I have if I have it on the computer over here, then I should be able to see those comments. And Sylvia, I see a comment. Excellent. And Heather is on too. Thank you, Heather, for tuning in a little bit. Chilly in New Zealand. Chilly sounds good, actually. I like cooler weather. I don't know about you, but I like it to be cooler. But I think it can get pretty warm in New Zealand. I'm not sure if I would like your summers. You're probably, I wonder if you're actually in winter right now. You might be not really in winter. You might be in fall or spring. I'm not sure how that works in New Zealand. And Heather, it is nice to see you, because I had a question for Kara the other day and realized, you know what, I could actually contact Heather and she could answer this. Okay, so I am going to use the Woven Heirlooms DSP today. And I still am thinking which one I'm going to use. I was either this sheet or this sheet, and I might go with, I'll probably go with the one that has not quite such an obvious pattern. I kind of wanted this side, but because this side it's got a lovely linen look to it. I really like it, but I think with my card today, I want one that is not going to have such an obvious diagonal or obvious, you know, pattern on it. And this one is pretty obvious too, but it's big enough that after I get some of it covered, and I might even just use this side. Anyway, so we're going to do a little pocket card today. And I wanted to use the, since I'm going to use this Rare Blessings stamp set, I played with it a few days ago and colored different colors, and this is the color we're going to do today. And I think that will go well with this DSP. It should. It's all the same colors, you know, so it should. That's the great thing about Stampin' Up! Is if you stick with Stampin' Up! Stuff, then you are going to... It's winter in New Zealand. Oh, my goodness. Winter. So, Sylvia, when you have summer in New Zealand, then what is your hottest temperatures? I'm just kind of curious. All right, so I'm going to put out the arm on my board, because and Stampin' Up! Has their board is exactly the way a cutting board is supposed to be, except that I'm an opposite sort of person. I must be slightly dyslexic or something, because to me, I need my cutting surface on the other side, and although no cutting board acts that way, so it's not like they're unusual in what they're doing. So I have done my pattern already, and but I didn't measure it out, so I kind of need to see what it is. So it's going to be 10 inches across, and then we're going to have some fancy little extras here, so I need to be a little cautious when I do that, but first of all, we're going to do 10 inches. So let's get this out, and we'll cut 10 inches this way. Take off my little piece. And then this direction. And I'm going to do something different with this edge. And I do have little lips for my pocket that's going to go up. I'm not sure if I'm going to actually need those for this project, but we'll see. And then this is approximately 8. It looks like 8 1/4. Yeah, I'd say that's 8 1/4, but we're only doing that 8 1/4. So we'll start with our 8 1/4. Okay, so when you get a card, sometimes I pull my cards apart and that I get from people and see how did they do that. And that's basically what's happening here with this is a card that I've pulled apart. And all right, now I'm going to go over a little bit, and I'm going to move my card so I know where I'm next part that I'm going to cut. And this is going to be 5 inches. Okay. So we're gonna go, oh, let's look and see. How far up do I need to cut? We're going up 2 inches. So I'm going over 5 inches and cutting up 2. I'm gonna kind of start it and not quite finish it. I wanna see where that gets me. And then I can move this to this spot here. Well, actually, let's just mark it on, I think I better mark it on this side, how far up I need to go. Oops. It'd help if I had the ruler in the proper direction. Okay, that's 2 inches. Let me grab a pen really quick. And I think I need to reload. Maybe what's happening with my computer is that wherever you've commented from, I have to keep reloading it to see any others, and I suspect that might be what it's doing. Okay, so I've marked it where that 2-inch increment is, and now I'm going to continue my cut to that spot, if I can find the exact spot again. Okay, and I do have the markings right here, but I didn't really notice it until that moment. And then on this edge, I think I do want to give myself a little, just a little, we'll give it a quarter of a fold there. So I scored there, and then we'll give myself a little quarter of a fold on this side too, and cut off that extra. I might as well. So that's going to be a quarter, and we'll slide it down to that 2-inch increment and score. And then I'm going to use my cutting blade to go on down to that 2-inch increment. And now that is going to, oops, I went a little far, but that's okay. Let me grab my scissors, and then I can snip where that, I snipped where my, I snipped where I finished scoring, where I really actually wanted it to finish there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cut. Now what I want to do here, let me get out my card again so I know what I'm doing. I want my fold to be where my little flap is. So I just need to continue my score line all the way up where I had already scored. So let me get my cutting blade out of here. I'm gonna put that away so you can see what I'm doing, because I'm sure I'm partially off camera here part of the time. So this is where I've cut it, and this is where my score line is. So we'll move that into place and score all the way down. And now where I've cut, this part I want cut off all the way. Okay, so we'll just, let's see if I've actually accurately can't cut in my 2 inches. I'm always, my cutting is iffy, so I want to make sure I've actually only cut it 2 inches. And it looks like I did. That's pretty accurate. So I feel safe in cutting there now. I wasn't really sure if I should do it, but I'll just get my little mark that I made right in view of my track, and then I can cut right down there, and then that's going to slide off. And now we have one more little fold, but I want to make sure that this is all working well. And I'm still kind of toying with the idea. I think we'll have this side be on the outside and this on the inside. I think that's going to look best. So I'm going to fold my little flaps in like this. Oh, I forgot to do my score line there. I should have done that. I better do that, because if I don't score it, then that's going to be a little harder to fold. So now we'll fold that up. There, so that's going to be my little pocket. And because I accidentally cut that, that's actually not going to work very well. And this is not going to need to be a big pocket or anything. I'm just going to slide a card in there. So I'm going to just trim it off. It would have been better if I hadn't done that, but since I did, that is life. And I'm getting my little snail thing out here. And you can see I put my label. Okay, so in the winter, 40 is about 104 Fahrenheit. That's pretty toasty. We get about generally 2 weeks of weather like that here in the Tri-Cities in July and August and September. I mean, throughout the whole summer, a good summer, you're gonna get, oops, look what I did. That is so goofy. I actually want that there, and it doesn't matter. I can do it there. It's just that doesn't, what a ding dong. I want that to be a pocket. So now what I'm going to need to do, since I did do that, I'm going to have to add a little bit of paper there so that doesn't stick to my... That part is not, you're not supposed to do that, so don't do that. What I really wanted to do was to put that snail here. I was thinking about 104 degrees and how I don't like that. I don't like 104 because that means I'm not going to get to go outside at all, hardly that day. I'm just not a heat lover, but many people love it. Okay, so now we're ready to fold this way, and now I can make sure my flap... See, if I had just scored where it was actually probably supposed to be scored, obviously somehow my measurements got off, and if I had done that, my flap wouldn't have been big enough. So this is what you do when you're not, working to a pattern. If I had a pattern, I would have probably managed to do that a little bit better, but anyway. So, all right, so I want my flap to fold here like this. And since I'm not succeeding very well, and let me grab my bone folder. This would probably help me a bit. I'm going to, it looks like, I don't know why I've got this uneven down here, and it is that way there too. So I must not have scored it perfectly there. So I've got to fix that, because that is just not going to work if I don't. So we'll get that more accurate with this bone folder. Okay. That's a little better. It's still off just a tiny, tiny bit. But I couldn't cut off the pocket part, but I can trim the top to make that even. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. Oops, I better go this direction since I've got let's see if that my blade's getting a tiny bit dull. As we all know, our blades are like gold. I've got a few. I missed the order. I hope you guys got in when they had blades available for like 2 seconds. I did. I forgot about it. I put out all my ads of effort to people to remember, to go online and buy their cutting blades, and forgot to do it myself until about, 10, 11, maybe even that afternoon. I don't know. I wasn't too concerned. I think I have 3. I might only have 2 packs, and at this point I realize I'm going to have to get a new cutter anyway, so I'm not really all that concerned about it. Now this is our Sweetly Stitched framelit dies from our old sweet thing, whatever that sweet little sugar cookie thing we had last winter. It was cute. This is just a stitched one. I don't think it's going to give me a cut, actually, but I'm going to run it through anyway, and we're going to see what we get with it, because I have used it, but it's just been a while. Don't really remember what happens when I, run this through. We're going to see, because I want an edge to it, and and this was just happened to be the one I pulled out. Now I could use, instead of doing that, I suppose I could just keep it straight, and I could use one of my fancy little deals there, but we're going to run this through. We're going to see what it looks like. Okay, so we'll just go. I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to do it this way. And we're going to do it this way. I have some scissors that I can trim this with if I need to make it look better. So I don't know. We'll just find out. You're kind of going along with me, but I see my board is I need it to be concave in the direction that where my so that where I need this to actually be magnetized down. I don't want to have to get out washi tape and fasten it, and that was not gonna stay there. So now we're ready. Okay, so we'll run this through. Hi Marty, how are you? Oh good, Marty, you shared. You reminded me that I need you guys to share so that I can send you a prize. And Marty, yours is going out in the mail today. I apparently had forgotten to get it out in the mail. I found it on my desk. All right, so this gives me this little stitched edge. I don't want a double stitched edge. I actually want a scallop, but I can trim where this first edge is, and then I'm going to have a nice little scallop. And so that's exactly what I expected to happen using that. I kind of forgot it was going to be a double stitched thing. Thank you, Joel. I see you shared too. Thank you. Okay. So Sylvia, I think you are still telling me about winter and summer. So it's about 32 at the hottest, about 90 degrees for us Fahrenheit. Okay. So it sounds like it's actually very comfortable. I thought so. I thought it was very comfortable there. My husband and I actually, last night, I don't know if it was a New Zealand program. Just saw a new series. Could have been Australian. I'm not I get them mixed up, even though I know you're not anywhere near. Now, that is not going to work. I can see right now, I'm not going to follow through here on that, but I don't think my scallop scissors are actually big enough to do that nicely. I think all of my scallops are... I've got several scallop scissors, but I don't think that any of them are that wide. I'm kind of looking at them all here on the back side of my camera. There's one, but I don't think it's wide enough. Oh, it's pretty close. I think I can make it work. Okay. Very good. I think it's going to work. We'll see. I'm not being terribly successful. I'm being somewhat successful. It would have been nicer if I'd had a die that was actually cutting there, but I didn't, so I'm just trimming along that stitched spot. All right, I'm almost done. That was a little bit more tedious than I expected it to be. But then that's because I thought I had a scissors that was going to work well, and it didn't. Okay, so now I have a nice little flap. The thing is, my card is going to go on here, so I did cut it a little bit right there, but, you know, it's going to be fine. I can even put a tiny bit of tape on it just to kind of secure it a little bit, and it'll probably be be fine. All right, I see my card backing there. Okay, all right, we're ready to continue. Let me put some of my scissors away that I've got, that I hunted through. And then we can go on. All right, so now we are ready to do, now this is actually the side that I thought I was going to have, but what I can do is take my DSP, and this is going to go on here like this, okay? Once we get that done. So that's going to be like that, and then I can open it up and I can take my other edge, and that's going to slide right in there. This is going to be my card. I can use this as an invitation. I'm actually going to just use this as a nice little card. Anyway, okay. Now, to stamp my picture. So we've got our rare, I love this orchid. It really is pretty. Sometimes when you see these stamps, you know, I don't know if you're like me, especially the ones that are more artistic like this. When I look at it, I think, it's really beautiful in that picture, but I wonder, oops, I just lost all of my stamps on the floor. I wonder how it's going to actually reproduce when I go to stamp it onto my card. Sometimes some of the detail either is too dark or too light, or Stampin' Up has gotten so much better at being really accurate with what you see. Some stamp companies are not quite so much so. All right, so I just sort of sticking that on there. I did flub it. It looks like a tiny bit right here. There actually is this stamp set. Let me grab my. It fell on the floor, so I'm going to have to jiggle the camera and pick up all these stamps that fell down. My case kind of turned over, and my goodness, there they are. Okay, this stamp set has a background stamp that, you know, does it your speckled stamp. And it looks okay. I preferred it without after I tried it. But to match that, they've put just a tiny bit of speckling around the stem right there. Mostly just right there. So this is not really a flub. It's just that there's a bit more ink there than I want. So you can see there's just that little bit of speckling. So I'm going to use that stamp somewhere else, but I think for now I want to retry, and I'm just not going to press quite so hard on that spot, and that way it won't, maybe it won't do it as strongly there. Okay, we'll try this again. Okay, this is it though. I'm not going to do it again. If this doesn't work, this is what we're working with. So I'm going to press around and just a little bit there. Much better. Okay, so I've got, it's still there, but it's just much lighter. It's not very noticeable. Because of that, my flower is a little lighter there as well. But when I color it, it's going to be fine. Okay, so just cleaning off that stamp. And I better put this away because otherwise it'll probably fall on the floor again, and I'm not done with it. I'm still going to need to use that. Okay, so now we're going to color it, and let's see what I've got. I think I can recall what I used last night. I used I used all the light colors. So this is light Calypso, and this is light Cajun. I did not use Cajun Craze. I did use, where is it? Did not use Pink Pirouette. Maybe I used, Oh, I know I used Flirty Flamingo. Oh, here we go. Rococo Rose. I don't think I used it on this one, but I did use that one several times. It was really, really nice. What I'm looking for is my Flirty Flamingo. I know that that's the one that I used. And this one is probably lipstick. Yes, it is. And I might have used some of that. I bet that's Cajun Craze again. There, I think this is it. Yes, Flirty Flamingo. Okay, Flirty Flamingo, and I did not use Light Call Me Clover. Let's look here and see, what have I got? Oh, that's probably mint macaroon. I used a little of that. And, oh no, I didn't. I used my soft sea foam, I believe, not the mint macaroon. I need to write these things down and then I can remember better. And probably light olive, I don't know, maybe. And maybe, but I used light everything. Okay, so we're gonna just start and see what happens. Pull these out of the way for a moment. And I'm gonna keep my card handy here because this is the color I'm kind of trying to go for. We're gonna start with the Light Calypso Coral, and I want that little pointy end. And we're gonna just do this, and I can see right now that is not the color I started with, so I must have pulled out lovely lipstick, but let's try our Flirty Flamingo first. I saw somebody on the demonstrator website had put the names of their pens on a label really large on the side. That's what I need to do. So it's like, whoa, I can't read Japanese, and oh no, I don't read French, and oh yeah, I can see where it is, but I don't know. I think part of me is actually kind of likes the challenge of finding things. So I'm just kind of going around where the darkest color is going to be at the bottom. And since I don't really know anything about orchids, I do know that they come in a variety of colors. I'm stunned by some of the colors that they grow in, and also by how beautiful the colors of the veining can be. The little veins can have, oh my goodness, beautiful color. So I did put some lovely lipstick in there. So we'll grab the dark lovely lipstick, pointy end, and we'll stick just a little bit in there. Okay, just to give it a little bit of a zing. Okay. And all right, now that I've done that, I'm thinking the Light Calypso Coral. That might be too, I'm a little afraid to just color that in without doing something else first. So that is Pumpkin Pie. We don't want that. And this is probably my Petal Pink, which is what I'm thinking I want to do first. Light Petal Pink. I don't want to get too carried away at first till I know for sure what I'm going to end up with. Yeah, that's pretty light. I'm going to go over the whole thing with that because I am going to leave a little bit of the lighter color on the edges. I don't necessarily want it white. Now we'll go back with the, where is that Calypso Coral that I had? That's dark Calypso Coral. Is this it? This is it. Light Calypso Coral. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Oh, yeah. This is so pretty. Nice. And so I'm just not even coloring the edges. Now they've got that petal pink on there. I'm just trying to blend in that dark little bit there. And it doesn't matter if I go into the center. I'm going to color it in because I kind of want to anyway. And we'll finish out those little buds. And then I'll use my petal pink again. We might even get the darker one out if I need to, but this is light petal pink. And then we'll finish the blending of it. Now you can see my original, I had a little more pink in there. I'm not really sure. I probably put more of the petal or flamingo, the flirty flamingo. I probably did that. And I know I did not do, I don't think, let me look at my Rococo Rose. I don't think I used that. It's pretty dark. But it does give you that nice rose. If you think, I want it to be a little rosier, you can throw that in there. I really love this one, Light Rococo Rose. I'm really excited about that Purple Posy too. I certainly hope they get that ink pad in stock soon. I dug out, if any of you guys are out there and you have old things like I do, I dug out my Orchid Opulence to stamp a Purple Posy stamp. And so I don't know that Purple Posy is going to be anything like this color, but it was close. The marker color was very close to that. And so that is, until they get it, that is substituting my... Okay, let's look at Pink Pirouette. Now, I know I didn't use that. Pink Pirouette has sort of like a grayish cast to it that I don't really like. So, Light Flirty Flamingo. Maybe I added a little bit of that to it because it's still not quite pink enough for me. But I think I'm going to have to be happy with it. It's just a little more peachy than I wanted, but that's okay. All right, so now we're going to add in these, and I need to grab my markers to do this stem. So I think we'll just take, oh, that's wild wasabi. I don't want wild wasabi. That I have some old ones in here apparently. Let's try. It needs to be kind of a darker stem, but I don't know that I want garden green, but we'll do garden green. And that way I can do my stem and not hopefully go out of my lines too much. Okay, and over my little tendril. There's a couple of those. And then I can do these stems here too and put a little footing on those little buds. There. Okay. And while I'm here with my marker, I'm going to use a Mango Medley or Melody and just do my centers a little bit bright. Get a little bit of brightness in there. While I'm at it, I think I'm going to take my this is Melon Mambo. This will be perfect. And I am going to just add in some of those veins with, since I didn't quite get as much pink as I wanted, we're going to add some pink with some Melon Mambo here. Just right on top of those veins. But only where it would have been darker. I don't want it to get too, I tend to get too carried away sometimes when I get going on this sort of thing. I do see right here where my petal is, I missed a spot. But it needs to be pretty light there, so I'll get that one. Okay, so that's good. I'm leaving my garden green out because we're going to be using that a little bit. And now we'll take the light old olive, and we're going to just do the veins and the tips. Where this leaf is going to be dark is what I'm doing with this old olive. Okay, so I'll just color in there because there's shading there. And then this leaf is kind of like a turn. It's a turn there. We'll get that underneath. Tendril. Okay, so that was my outline. And then we'll use light Granny Apple Green. We'll try a little bit of that, but I'm not going to go over the whole thing. It's pretty bright. I do want to leave a bunch of white here in the center. Oops, that I don't need as much there. I do need a bunch there. Okay. And then we'll use our soft sea foam to fill that all in. Kind of blend that together a little bit. Okay. And then we're going to get our garden green out again. Oops, I don't want the fat tip because I want to pull back in some of my dark veins where it would be darkest. Okay, it's pretty good. Right there. And, I think we'll take our light, was this light, yeah, Old Olive, over that again a little bit. Just to try to blend that in. Those are quite different, different greens, so it can get a little muddy if you get going too much on that. So there we go. Now I did see someone had said to take a little yellow and add that to your leaf. And so we're going to do that, just where that highlight would be. And do you see how that, they're right. It really brightens that up. It's kind of an interesting, you get your yellow-green color, so it's more of a springy green. I don't know what color orchid leaves are. I believe they are darker, but I really don't know. All right, so that is that. I'm not thrilled with this green, and I probably would have liked to use my Copic markers and get a more grayish rather than yellow-green, but we're not doing that at this moment, and we'll just be happy with our yellowy green. I forgot to get my rectangle frame thing, my stitched die that I've got to have to cut this out. So excuse me while I go grab that. I'm gonna have to jiggle everything again to do it. But I do have it handy right here. It's actually a die I use every day. I have lots and lots of rectangles in it, so you've got every shape and every size you could ever want. It's very, very handy. So we're going to use this size. I believe that will work well. I'm going to clean off all of my pens off of my desk, but I'll have to put those away because I like to keep them together as a pair, and I will work on putting those back together later. But I need a space to be able to roll this out. All right, so who is going to be celebrating the 4th of July, and what are you going to be doing? I know my our son and his wife and their kids are going to have a great time. Last year they went with friends, I think, and did something really fun on the 4th of July, and it's nice that their kids are pretty young, so I don't think, when our kids were that young, we pretty much just stayed to ourselves, but most of our friends had kids who were about 2 and 3 years older, and when you're a 2-year-old and the other kid's a 4-year-old, that's a huge difference. So that's why we didn't do a lot with our friends. Our friends that we had later had ages that were the same, but okay, now look at that stitched. label. Isn't that cute? Oh, I love that. Every time I pop those out, I'm just so happy with how they turn out. And then I don't have to clean it either. It's just a quick, easy thing. And actually, what I'll probably do, I shouldn't have put that away, because while I am here, I can use this one. It's the other great thing about it, and it will do a nice frame for me. I won't even have to measure. I bet you're happy about that. I bet you're happy about not seeing me measure things, because, oh my goodness, my measuring ability is very, very poor, apparently, because every time I go to do it, it seems like I end up with things that I don't necessarily want. I've lost my DSP. No, there it is. I see it. Whew, I don't think it's big enough. Let's look. It's going to be a close fit. Very close. We're going to give it a try and we'll see. I don't know. If it doesn't work, it won't work. It'll still be fine. It'll be stitched on the top for sure. But I am not so certain about that bottom. That one, it might not work as well. We'll see. Okay, we'll get it on here as well as we can, but it does look like it's hanging over a bit, so the sides might not end up being stitched. My plates aren't perfectly flat, so they don't always work as well as they should. And I have other plates too. I'm just a cheapskate. I don't get things out and use them until I feel like I have an absolutely needful. Oh, look at that. It actually got all of that stitched edge. Wonderful. So thrilled. Okay, I love this DSP. It's beautiful. That again, it's the Woven Heirlooms set. Okay, so now that's going to fit there nicely, and this is going to fit here nicely. Oh, it's cute. Oops, I've got it upside down. That would probably be helpful to have it the right side up. And then, okay, so this is going to be my front. I think that'll fit on there okay. This is going to overlap there, but that's okay. And then I could actually use another piece and another card and stick it inside. But what I will probably do instead is I'm going to just put a white piece, because I don't know, I might want to write on this side, and this is going to be my insert for an invitation or something. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. I'm not sure what I'm going to end up doing with this card, but I do know that I probably want a ribbon on here. Ribbon is nice, but it might interfere with my flap. So maybe I won't do a ribbon after all. Maybe I will tie the whole thing with a ribbon. That would be cute. All right, we'll put our dimensionals on here while I'm thinking about it. And I've got a nice, lovely edge to a package here, so we can just stick those edges on. Very quick. Okay. Oh, it must be 2. Oops, it must be 2 o'clock. I don't think I've wound my clock for a while. It's holding on to it's winding pretty well. Oh, that's going down. Oh, I almost stuck it to my other card. I'm going to tuck it over just a tad there. All right, now that's down, and then this one's going there, and I'm still thinking about it. Do I want a ribbon or not? Let's look at our embellishments. And let's just see if I want to use any of these. So this is our Rococo Rose, and that's the only one that I would use. And I don't see a good spot on here for it. I don't really want to. I like simple things, and sometimes, you know, I could put one here, but I still am thinking I'm going to do a ribbon. So I think we'll just tie a ribbon across here instead. And then that way I don't have to worry about deciding how I'm going to get a closure. I do have some magnetic discs. They're thin and they have a backing, a stick-on backing. They're pretty reasonable. You can get a package of them. I think I got them on Amazon, a package of 20 for just a few dollars. It wasn't that bad. It was more expensive to buy it at the craft store, I believe. And so for something like this with a flap, that's what I'll do, is put a little magnetic catch on it. But in doing that, you're kind of, raising the cost of your card. So it might not be one you would want to necessarily mass produce unless it was for a class or something. I got that on a little crooked, but okay, we're going to live with it anyway. And I think my ribbon is going to be about good. I still really like this paper. Every time I look at it, I'm keeping it on my desk here to remind me that I need to use it. And if I hadn't already stuck that scallop on there, I could even still do it. It might actually look pretty good, just one of these. The one that I like the most, I've already used that. That would have looked good right there. Now we do have that nice ribbon, that pretty lace ribbon, and I think we'll go grab that. So I'm gonna flip over here and we'll pull off a fair amount. Oops, I just disconnected my my Facebook. I don't know what I did, but I think I accidentally changed pages there. So that was probably oh my goodness. What have I got going here? Now I'm gonna have to start it all over again, and there we go. Okay. Except for it's not, I think I showing. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you. Oh, and now that I went away and I'm back, now I see all these comments. Ooh, Marty, you're going out on the boat for the 4th of July? Oh, that sounds like fun. I love that. That is great. Oh, nice. Okay, I need to stop looking over there. Now, so this lace ribbon, isn't this pretty? I really wanted to put it on like this, but I need it to tie. And I don't think that's going to really work for me to tie it. I can just do it as a little band, I understand, but I really would like it to tie. So let's see if I can do a tie with it. And then we'll know whether that works or not. This one of the reasons I like doing this Facebook Live is because it is kind of fun to be able to do this with other people who I know are going to be sympathetic, knowing that, yes, things don't always work out the way you intended. And sometimes if I plan something really thoroughly, it still doesn't work out as intended. So it's like, well, let's just see what happens with this stamp set today. This is going to work well. I like how that is laying. It looks good. I can see my scallop. The only thing is, if I turn my ribbon around, my scallop will actually match the scallop edge of my card. So let's just do that. Let's flip it over. If I can flip it. And that's a big if, but I think I can do it if I just keep working on it. Come on, little ribbon, you can do it. You can do it. It's just I don't know how you got a crease in you, but you managed to. Oh, there we go. Okay. And then once I get my little oops, haven't flipped the back side though. There we go. Okay, then I can place my scallops kind of where I want them, and we're going to find that. Oops, where did my snail go? I see some fast fuse. Oh, there we go. I don't like fast fuse. I'm not very good at it. Okay, and then we'll just put a little bit of that there. And that'll get my ribbon going where I want it. Doesn't have to be all the way, but let's get most of it on there. Right where I want it. Let's get it on the actual edge, because that's where I got my snail. And then we can put it on this back side too. Okay. All right, so now my ribbon is going to stay a little bit, and then I can play with my tie and get it to tie a little bit better. But I think my flap's going to flap nicely. Oops, I forgot. I am going to have to untuck here. I guess I'll have to actually trim that in order for this to open. It would open anyway, because the person could just do that. But then they'll have to slide it. Oh, there we go. It does come off good. I wasn't sure it would, but it did. All right, very good. So this is like one of those cards you would give that the person would open and then not know how to put back together again, but that's okay. You guys would know how to do it. All right, so I think I have played around enough with this. So I am going to just tie this very quickly and look at my sentiment. And we're going to find my... I've got a big mess here. Where's my stamp set? There it is. So we've got This Day Is Yours, just for you. This is going to go on the inside. A true friend is the rarest of all blessings. I really like this one. It's your time to bloom. But I've used that on another card. So I need to stick with something simpler. So I'm going to just put This Day Is Yours on the bottom. And that way I can use this for any kind of, really any occasion. Other than a... sympathy, I wouldn't want to use it for that. Other than that, we're gonna be good. And I might use a label. I was thinking it would fit here, and I think it will. It could actually even fit here. I kind of hate to, I don't really want to do another label stuck on here, but I might have to do that. We'll try it without and see what happens. All right, so now we've got a lot of green, but this is probably pretty peacock on the back, this color. So that's the color we need to emphasize. We don't have any pretty peacock in my, in the coloring here. So we definitely need to add that in. It's just a matter of finding that color. I must have it in the greens. Yes, I did. I had it in the greens instead of in the blues. All right, so pretty peacock. Now, I've already got my dimensionals on here. So this is going to be a little tricky to stamp. I might have to stamp it on something else because I'm not sure that I'm going to get a good impression. This is where it's going to go. So we're going to give it a try. And I am going to put my hand underneath here to help it. So we're going to see what we get, because I'm going to just kind of use my hand to stamp it, and it worked out fine. It did have to go off a little bit, but that's okay. All right, so I think that card is done, other than the fact that I still have to do the interior. But isn't that cute? I love these little pocket cards. They're fun. They're fun to do. All right, I am going to flip up the camera. And hopefully I won't shut it off. Last time I think I shut it off. It's pretty funny. Oh, Joyce, it's nice to see you. I never see these comments on on this computer. It's so unfortunate that I don't see all these. But anyway, thank you for watching. And you have a very blessed 4th of July. Stay safe, and I hope the people that you're with are staying safe too. It should be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it. I love that the weather's warmer. Jeff and I are going to walk down. We've decided one night a week now. We're going to, because sitting around watching TV is fun, but we just both want to eat all the time. And it's been really difficult. I have 20 more pounds to lose. My body has refused to lose anymore for the last 2.5 weeks. I've just been fluctuating between the same 3 pounds, so I haven't lost any more weight in the last 2.5 weeks, and that's been very frustrating. So you could pray for me to get some more weight off. That would be nice. Thank you, Marty. But Jeff has joined me on this last 20-pound journey, and so we're going to walk down to the river, which is, I don't know, a couple miles probably from our house. We're going to walk down there and see if they have some kind of spot that we can get a cup of coffee, something locale in the evening on one night a week so we don't eat. Yes, Marty, I have a friend at our church yesterday who works or used to work for Weight Watchers a long time ago. She worked there for many years, I think, and so she was giving me all kinds of information. And the reality is that I just need to keep doing what I'm doing and not give up. And I have one more month, really. God has told me to do this for 1 year, and that is the end of July will be 1 year. And he has already blessed me so much with losing this much weight. It is wonderful. So I am just determined to do what he wants me to. Thank you, Marty. I do appreciate it because Jesus is the one that can get the weight off of me. I can't. I can exercise. I can diet. But he is the only one who can get this body to lose any weight or to keep it off. This friend of mine was telling me that the keeping it off is the hardest part, which I already know. And I don't feel like I'm ready to do that yet. I'm still in dieting mode, but at the end of this month, I have to be ready to go into the keeping it off mode, and that will be a challenge too. So everybody out there, I know you have challenges too. Everybody does. We're all dealing with something that's either unpredictable or undeserved or deserved. But whatever it is, it's not easy, and God can help us with it. And he's actually got the solution already done. It's just a matter of us having faith and following through on his solution that he already has prepared, already done it. Yesterday at our church, we have a missionary couple who are going to visit our church from Africa in a few weeks. And Jeff has gone and visited them in Africa, so he knows them. They needed a car. And our missions team, one of the couples on our missions team told us a really neat story about how when they were searching for the perfect vehicle for them to use while they were here, because we can't afford to rent one for them for the 3 months that they're here, they decided to purchase one and then resell it at the end. But no one has a ton of money, to do that with. But they found a perfect vehicle, and God had gone ahead and prepared for that like a year before, because the man said, I have been trying to sell this. It's like a great deal. It's a 2014 or 2015 van with 58,000 miles on it, okay? But he'd been trying to sell this van for 1 year, and not one person had called about it. And so, of course, they bought that. But it just goes to show that God was preparing for this van situation, for this missionary couple at this time. He was preparing for that, us for that, and this other guy for that for a year ago. And they were Christians, so they're happy to share that story, the people that they got the van from. But it would have been hard for them to wait the year. That's the hard thing. God's timing is very difficult, and it was great for us because we were buying the van, but for the person who was selling the van, waiting for that year for that sale would have been not just a challenge but a hardship. So having said that, we can have confidence that God is going to do what he says, and it will be good. So we just move on through. It'll be good. So by the end of July, I am going to be at least 10 pounds lighter. I pray. I'd like to have been 20 pounds lighter, but 10 will do. And then I will start on the journey of keeping it off and probably trying to lose that other 10 pounds. I don't even care. I was fine when I was 100 pounds heavier. I felt pretty happy, comfortable, so it'll be good. You have a great day and a great week. I am going to stop this, check out my shares, and do the do a quickie This Is Who Won video right after this. Thank you for watching and sharing. I really appreciate it. And Marty, you can look for your treat from sharing last week's in the mail, probably at the end of this week or at the beginning of next week. All right. Thank you. Bye.